Okay, so NVHA 070021. It is 7707 today.
Say that again, a century.
And that's some, and your number here is 0721. 21 is a multiple of 7, so it must be your lucky day. Our 252nd interview overall. We're in Chesapeake, Virginia, at the home of Eppa and Evelyn Barkley. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to come and do this interview. And we'll start out with your full name.
Evelyn Barkley.
Okay, and were you named after somebody in the family?
No, I named after my uncle, my mother's brother, Eppa.
Okay.
And then Bland was the doctor's name.
Oh, really? Ah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a nice tribute to the man.
Yeah.
He must not have dropped you or anything. So.
No. Then, of course, a lot of people, a few, not a lot, named their son Bland, first name Bland, after Dr. Bland.
Yeah. Well, how about that? He must have been quite a well-liked fellow.
In fact, they named his grandson Bland, but
oh, really?
his name was James Montague, and the son's name was Pope, and what they would, if they really named it J.L. or J.R. Pope, would have been better, but they named his first name Bland.
Okay, now what is your date of birth?
8/19/22.
Well, you're just a little bit younger than me. I was born on the 30th of August. And what was your rank at discharge?
I was lieutenant when I got out of the Navy.
Okay, you were a lieutenant? All right.
They needed some junior officers, so I jumped in there.
Okay.
I was E9. So
wow. So, Lieutenant Barkley, where were you born?
I was born in Southampton County, which is 60 miles to the south
Okay.
of here.
And you born at home?
I can't tell you. Probably so.
Okay, probably not in the hospital back then.
No.
Wouldn't have thought so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
In Newsom, it was Newsom, Virginia, at the time.
Okay.
I was a mile outside of town.
Was that at your parents' home, or was it like your grandparents' home? Do you know?
Well, my mother's father owned the property, and they had a house. They lived in their home, but this house was, and they farmed. Well, they farmed that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all I ever knew, and really wasn't. As all youngsters, wasn't interested in it.
Oh, sure.
But that's where I lived there, and it was right next to, well, 150, 200 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bet your mother was there when you were born.
So, I hope so. Okay, yeah.
I usually get that right.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about your mom. What was her name?
Her name was Inez
Okay.
Barnes. Her maiden name was Barnes.
Barnes. Okay.
And so she had five sisters and 3 brothers.
Oh my. Yeah. What was she like?
Oh, she was real nice. She took care of me. And she died when she was 55. Had urine pouring back.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
She went to the hospital for appendicitis one time, and then I was in the Navy, and they took her bladder out, and she died of urine poisoning.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
They didn't have the urologist. Then I guess they dialysis. What is it? They dialysis.
Dialysis.
And
yeah.
so it just gets in your body, and so the body used to swell up quite a bit, and then when it subsides and your body becomes normal, it's getting used to the poison. So that's when you're on your way to dying. So I was in the med when she died.
Oh my. That had to be a blow.
Well, yeah. In fact, she was born on the 14th of December in 1898. And so she She went in a coma on the 7th, and she died on the 10th. And I got the word that she had died on the 14th. Of course, it took a while to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't get back to home until 12 days later.
Yeah.
A lot of rigmarole when you're in the med.
It'd be hard.
Yeah, now a person could have some guy might have a girl pregnant or something, they could ship him right out.
Yeah.
But something like, they always figure if somebody in your family dies, there's somebody there that can take care of it. So you have to go through the 6th Fleet and all to get permission to come out of that.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
So it was 12 days later.
How about your father? What was his name?
Edwin, Edwin McCager.
Okay.
They spelled it different. I spelled it M-A-C-A-J-A-H, but he spelled it M-A-C-A-J-O-Y.
Huh.
But yeah, he was born in 1884. And
What's that?
so he worked for the Seaboard Railroad at the time, and his brother had married my mother's sister, lived across the road from Granddaddy.
Yeah?
So he used to come down and stay with Uncle Obie, and then he'd hear the whistle blow coming from Boykins about 5 miles away when it's coming through.
Yeah?
He'd get up and walk down to the railroad and catch it when it come by.
So that's how they got together.
Yeah.
Well, Hershel's dad married a woman, and this guy he's in service with said, does she have a sister? He said, sure does. And they wound up getting married too, so it's kind of like that. You know?
Yeah.
Very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of a fellow was he? What was he like?
Daddy
Yeah.
didn't have much education, didn't go to school for 4 months, worked hard, did never have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But then he farmed with the dairy farm early in my days, and then they farmed without the dairy. And then we moved to Franklin on a dairy, had a dairy farm there. That's when I went in the Navy. Had to get away from the cows.
That's hard work now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of dairies had the milkers. We milked by hand. We had 60 cows.
Oh, 60 cows milking by hand?
Yeah, milking.
Holy
Started at 2
moly.
o'clock in the morning, and 3 of us. And
Oh, boy.
and ain't no frame of mind get kicked down by a cow at 2 o'clock in the morning. I had that done a couple of times.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just feeding that many
But I
cattle's enough.
I didn't never like to farm anyway.
Yeah.
I lived on a farm all my life, so I went Navy just about. And nobody has done more farming than I have that knows as little about it as I do, because I didn't want to know anything about it. I knew what to do and where to do it, not when to do it.
Yeah.
Daddy says, you do this, I done that. So when so I could join the Navy, I did that.
Yeah.
In fact, I really joined the Navy and got my birth certificate forged.
Yeah.
In 39, and then we went up there, was sworn in at the base in Norfolk. Then they found out I wasn't old enough.
Ah.
I never have understood that, because they had a minority cruiser that you could come in at 17.
Right.
So why I couldn't have stayed in. But anyway, they could have court-martialed me, but they sent me home.
Huh.
They come back. So 8 months later, I went back. They still had all my records and everything.
Yeah.
Asked me, did I have any more scars? I said, no, thank God.
Yeah.
Had enough of them. So they said, we'll tell you when to come back. So,
Well, they must have warned you.
well,
They
it was
must have warned
closing in. I don't know, we didn't ever know, but how much that problem they were having with Japan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that I was on the Babbitt and we was coming into Norfolk, and we had Division Commander Phillips was his name. They named Phillips Park in Guantanamo after him, his admiral. But he said, I knew I could get away with it. I'd sink that. a Jap ship was coming in, he said I'd sink it. So evidently they knew more than we did
Yeah.
about the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'd like to get a little more family history. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
had a brother named Paul,
Okay.
got killed in 1930, riding on the side of a running board.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
My mother's brother, they come to work and steal apples. So I was riding on one running board, my brother was on the other. And we laughed and joking and just run too close to a telephone pole and got his head in between it and it dipped. That just had to be just right. And just caught his head in between the car and killed him there.
Oh, that'd be awful.
I always wished I'd have been on that side because I was smaller and it couldn't have happened that way.
Might have missed you, huh?
Yeah. So he was a fine boy.
Yeah.
My brother and I were, but he was 20 months older than I was.
Yeah.
He was born January 1st, 21.
Oh, my. Well, I have to be awful tough on your mom, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was destroying. She never really got over that.
I don't think you ever do.
No. And he being her, not that she loved me just much, but Paul was her boy. He was smart, quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you wonder why, but...
And we played and all that thing, but she just, of course, I'd be working, Paul would be reading and that. Dad was looking for him. Asked Mama where he was. Says, in here. I'm going to whip him. She said, you ain't going to do no such thing. Says, but that was my family, other than I know of.
So, where'd you go to school?
Went to school in Boykins till we moved to Franklin. Then I moved to Franklin. I was in high school.
Okay.
And then I didn't finish school. I went to the Navy from that.
Yeah. Do you remember any of your teachers?
No, I remember, well, in my grammar school, can't remember the first grade teacher's name. Second grade teacher named Marguerite Leathers. Third class was Eva Lowe. Fourth time was Rosa Tyne.
Yeah.
Fifth was Elizabeth Boone. And strange enough, Rosa Tynes and Elizabeth Boone married brothers there, night brothers there.
Huh.
And my sixth grade was Ethel Gillum. Seventh grade was Edna Parr. And my eighth grade, see, we went to high school, we only had 7 grammar and 4 high.
Okay.
Like a lot didn't have a, and I had Alvin Farner was my 8th grade room. He was a coach and all. 9th and 10th was a woman named Porter.
Mm-hmm.
And then English teacher was 11th. Can't think of her name right now.
Oh, that's pretty
Strangely,
good.
strangely enough, you know, some people look like they did all their life.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of them.
Oh, really?
And she was, you see her, she just aged, but she was a dear person. And that's what I didn't finish school. My English grammar kept me from,
Yeah.
just, you don't get grammar in an early grade, you just don't pick it up.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, but I went to Franklin, then I had the principal named Bonnie Cockle, and he married my math teacher in Franklin, was named Robertson.
Yeah.
And we had others in there, but I forget. Had one was English teacher. She went on to teach college. They wanted her. She was my teach college English. Yeah. But that's about it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. When you were growing up, did you have any childhood heroes? I mean, for some fellas, it'd be aviators or cowboys, or maybe somebody in the community, or maybe somebody in the family you kind of looked up to. Did you have anybody like that?
Well, when we were boys, we used to play with our guns. You know, we'd run them to church, take them off, lay them outside. But that was, I don't know if you remember Buck Jones.
Oh, yeah.
So they called me Buck, you know. Back when I went to Franklin High School, said, "What'd they call you?" I said, "They called me Buck." But, no, we I don't know any stars that I had other than Hoot Gibson. Hoot Gibson, you know, they used to travel around in these little tent shows.
Yeah.
And, well, Boykins didn't have about 300 or 400 people, but they set up their tent and had the Western type and all. And Hoot was in that. He come through that.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Just like when later when I worked for the theater, we used to advertise, and then Hal Lyons lived in Franklin, had 3 theaters, built one there, had old Liberty State when he built it. So, and they had those stage shows like Cab Calloway come back to different ones in that.
Oh my!
In that day. So, but you know, all the Western names are. We had back when I was a youngster, you know, there was silent movies. That's when they had the piano, you know, like the chase and all that. So I'd sneak in that when I was small.
Remember how much you used to pay to go to the movies?
10 cents.
10 cents.
10 cents. And I worked for it at theater when I was 14, 15.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, we advertised. We used to have these handbills, you know. We'd go all over and then put these posters on the telephone pole, and we'd advertise all over. In fact, we were putting we had a stapler, ended up with a stapler on the pole, and this policeman in Holland, which is not too far from here, he was going to give us a ticket. He did give us a ticket. He said, "You had to come back to court." I said, "Man, we can't come back to court. We live in Washington. We go to school." He said, "Well, you have to see the mayor." So the mayor was out about 4 or 5 miles out on his farm. So we went out there and saw him. He said, "Well, just don't put no more." So we come back through Holland, and the police was up there on his porch. We waved at him, kept on going.
That's good.
We had a running gun battle at Myers Theater over in Hosky. I think it was a Hosky. But we'd see that handbill would a poster would turn down, put ours up there. I don't know why, you know, that's all. We're stupid after the fact, you know.
Now, my grandma would call that meanness now.
Well, that's what it was.
Oh, boy. Did you have any other place that you worked when you were young? Because I know you must have spent an awful lot of time on the farm.
No, I didn't know. I worked for a cleaning. I worked at a service station, and worked in cleaning, pressing, delivering. You know, we'd just carry clothes back to the homes, but I worked at a service station. But other than that, I didn't farm, and that was it.
Yeah.
Didn't.
When you were going to high school, did you? When you're going to high school, did you have any idea what you wanted to do when you got out?
No, I think I wanted to go to the Navy since I first saw him about 5 or 6 years old.
Huh.
And we come to Norfolk, you know.
Oh.
But I think that's what I wanted. That's the only thing that interests me that I know of. I know that plow wasn't interesting. I'm like, what was the guy that, Bear Bryant?
Yeah.
He said, "I left that plow in the field. And I still dream about it." He said, "I won't get away from that plow."
If you ever think you're having a bad day, just think of the
Think
plow.
of that plow.
That's true, yeah. Like one guy said, he got so mad that the plow in the mule, a horse, yeah, he tied a line around the mule and put it over a limb and pulled it just as tight as he could and walked away from it. But you can bit. I've been bit by one. You get bit by a mule,
Huh.
you know, 'cause they bite you. And when you're laying off road and you move, you got laying off hold.
Yeah.
You get in front and lay it off. Out there, and the blame mule bit me in the back.
Oh, for heaven's
Oh, yeah.
sakes.
Yeah, they can bite.
Honorary cuss.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy. So you left school when, about 38 maybe, 39?
39.
About 39? Okay, you almost graduated. What?
Yeah. Finally got the English that I could. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that kept me back.
About a year short. You were about a
Yeah.
year short, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so
But I
between-
did get the GED, so I got the GED.
Okay.
That was after I was in the military, though. In fact, I needed that to get commissioned.
Oh, yeah.
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 So I wasn't really interested in getting commissioned. Because I was E9.
Right.
I was happy a lot.
Yeah.
Always happy. I'll tell you a story about that. So I was in the reserve fleet. I had reserve.
Yeah.
And had this chief engineer named Wiley. And Red Green was the chief shipbuilder. And so he asked Red Green, says, don't you want to go up for warrant? He said, no, I'm satisfied just like I am, you know. But we had this guy Sanchez, wasn't worth the salt to blow his brains out. He said, that's the trouble with the Navy. He said, one of these days I'll be captain, Sanchez will be Zach, and you'll still be a chief. You know, that was this block. So you should never be satisfied. We get to a point where it's satisfied. When I made chief, I was satisfied.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they come up with that E8 and 9, so I jumped in there and got that, and I was satisfied with that. And then I really wasn't interested in being commissioned.
Right.
But this chief storekeeper was E9. He was. I was working nuclear weapons.
Okay.
And so we put in, and this, I told, well, the officer in charge was an ex-torpedoman, was commander. He said, well, let me tell you something. He said, if you don't put in for it and get it, some stupid knucklehead is going to get commissioned and be your boss. That's an initiator right there.
That's good thinking.
So I put it for, and I wasn't expecting it. So the chief storekeeper called me one day, quote, says my full name. I said, yeah, that's it. He said, well, you've been selected for a commission. So we went on from there.
That's great. So when you left school, you just went right into the Navy, or did you work for a while and then join the Navy later?
No. When I could get in the Navy, I went.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just take me down the path there. Where did you actually sign up?
In Norfolk, they had the federal building over in Norfolk.
Okay.
That's when I went in the first time. And so I just went back. They had a recruiting office there.
Okay.
So then you reported. And I didn't have no money, so I hitchhiked a ride on a milk truck. The one that picked up this man Rawls had 5 dairies,
Yeah.
and his truck carried all the milk to Norfolk, to Roswell Dairy, and this one farm had all Guernsey, so it went to another place. Because a lot of people, although Guernsey is not the richest milk, Jersey is the richest milk of any cows, you know, has more butterfat. But anyway, people drink, so, but I hitchhiked ride him down there. And then I was going back home, didn't have no money, I don't know how I was going to get back. I was standing there on Portsmouth. I was thinking about walking up, hitching a ride, and my uncle, my mother's brother, was in the Army.
Ah.
He come over there, said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm just thinking about going up High Street, hitching back to Franklin. He said, come on, I'll buy you a ticket. So he bought me a ticket on the train and give me a couple of dollars when I got there.
How about that? That's good timing.
He was in the Army back in the 20s,
Yeah.
and was in Panama for 9 years with PFC.
Oh, really?
They got rated real
Yeah.
real fast. He was a cook.
He tell you much about Panama?
No, he didn't. He was in the coastal. They were in the coastal artillery.
Okay.
That coastal battery, whatever it was.
Right.
And no, he never did. And he was staff sergeant when he retired. And I was over in Pearl Harbor, and he come through there, but I never saw him while I was there. I tried to get in contact, but I never did.
Okay.
So he was in and out.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Kansas City. He died. And my mother's sister, youngest sister, which was 5 years older than I was, lived across the river over here, and she died some 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. So kept pretty close. The other 4 died way back.
Okay. Well, what's the next step in the process? Where'd you go from there?
Well, just then when I got out of school, as soon as I get in the Navy, I joined. So then,
Where'd you get your basic training?
In Norfolk, with Naval Training
Okay.
Station, yeah. And then you go through training 16 weeks and put you in outgoing unit. So back then, you couldn't put in for, not today, they're more selective and get in. But like the Babbitt needed 6. So it was the guy, 2 Adam named Bracey, Booth, Barkley. With 6 went there, and then another group went to Capella. I forget what it was, but that's where they sent out. So I went to the Babbitt, stayed there until 43. I don't know what month I left there, but it seemed like March or April. I was supposed to make first class in April of 43, but we had 3 of us second class. 2 of them, one boy named Nunley lived here in Virginia, and another named Duncan. They taught me a lot. He'd been in the Navy 17, 18 years, and he was a seaman when I went aboard at Babbitt. But he got to be second class. But both of them had court-martial hanging over them. So they had to send a second class to the Kidd. So I was elected. So when I got to the Kidd, Burns was first lieutenant. He was from Alabama. He said, "I'm glad to have you aboard." I said, "Well, I ain't glad to be here." And I told him why. He said, "Don't worry about that." And so the next month I made first class after I was on
On the Kidd?
And he told me, he said, "You're a damn rebel and you're going to be on here as long as I'm on here." So this guy was his assistant first lieutenant named Coker from Texas. And I don't know if anybody liked him or not. Not even the captain. I talked to the captain later on when he's admiral.
Yeah.
He said, "I really didn't like that fella." Well, personnel conflict in a sense, but I went over and I was going to get swapped with a guy over in Pearl Harbor to get with him. But anyway, Coker got transferred to say, "You still won't go?" I said, "No." So I stayed on there.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious, which was tougher, boot camp or milking cows?
Oh no, the boot camp was real good.
Yeah.
No.
You're in such good shape by the time you got there.
You get up at 4:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
In boot camp. But everything, done everything. That's the most regulated time in your life, is in the boot camp.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't no doubt. Because they told you what to do, when to do, and where to do it.
Yeah.
You always had to roll your clothes, put clothes on, and they test them if it was too loose. You had to redo them.
How'd you do on that?
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
This one guy named Green, I remember in training, and the snap hit him and the snap come off, and he laughed, and his chief
Oops.
was inspecting, didn't like him laughing, so he'd stop at him, hit him in the eye with it. No, there's certain things in that, you didn't whistle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard anybody say that.
I hadn't heard
But
that.
going through training, so here I come through there, whistling, going out the door, and the adjutant sent him out and said, get that guy that's whistling. So I brought him back in and said, you the whistler? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, only 2 people in the Navy whistle, and that's a boatsmate and a damn fool, and you ain't a boatsmate.
I like that.
That knocked that off right quick. But it was real laid out, and you trained, marched all day. You had different evolutions that you went through, all the seamanship, rigging, sailing, all in the seamanship branch.
Huh.
And so you had the boots on, you had your semaphore flags,
Yeah.
and you're in the field, you practice semaphore and all that. So it was the most regulated time.
It would be.
And then, of course, when you go on a ship, when you leave that, it's all strange to me, all strange, So you're wide-eyed and always wanting to do things. And sometimes you do something wrong, like I had this one incident, we JG yet, but we were in Charleston because they were closing, had ports, and they started closing them up, taking the ports out and sealing them. And I had to watch on the pier. So we were outboard of another destroyer, and they were taking on stores. So I was standing there, and it just happened to be these cases were about this high. And I had my arm up there, and this offshore ship jumped all over me.
Mm-hmm.
So he was standing out there like a damn farmer with his arm up on that something.
I am a farmer, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but then I enjoyed that. I learned, had one of the finest, what I thought, everybody thought, we had this first class name, Hershel and I, on the Babbitt. And everybody liked him. Captain, Zach, all of them. And sort of afraid of him. And he wasn't a large guy either. Real broad shoulders, about 5'6",
Yeah.
and all that. But anyway, if you know anything about blowing tubes on the oil, on your boilers and all that, you always change course so the smoke goes across, and sometimes they blow and it comes out and that soot gets all over everything. And they do that once in a while, and when they did that, Hellslander would hit that bridge, he'd hit that ladder, and the deck now said, now Hellslander, hold it. He said, I took care of it. But he was a fine man. And
Yeah.
I don't ever think he wanted to be cheap, but it made him cheap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the last time I saw him, I didn't know he was there. We were coming through the canal. I was on the Jackson transport. And looked down on the pier, and the line handling party, that was Whitey. And I hollered, if I could have figured somewhere I could have got off the ship and then caught it when we come out on the East Coast, I'd have done that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the last time I ever saw him.
Huh.
I wrote, but I never heard him. And I really didn't know, but I thought he might be on the timber down there, over in Balboa, I think. And
Yeah,
But,
too bad you couldn't caught up to him again.
yeah.
What? You say your first ship you were on was the Babbitt?
Uh-huh.
What kind of ship was that?
That's a full four-stack destroyer,
Okay.
128.
Okay.
We had Veteran Squadron. We were in the 27th Squadron, and I was 53rd Division in the Decatur was one of the last four stackers. I think the last four stacker
Mm-hmm.
was 344, and Decatur was 341.
Huh.
And then we had we had the 27th Division was the Badger, Babbage, Kinkin, Leary, and then on the 54th Division was Roper, Herbert, Dickinson, Jakey Jones. If you remember history, Jakey Jones was one of the first destroyers that got sunk up in the North Atlantic.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Jacob Jones, yeah.
that. Yeah, I've heard that, but I have heard of Jacob Jones. And anyway, being a four stacker, was it coal fired or was it oil? Oil. Okay.
Had 4 bars.
Okay.
Didn't have capacity of 90,000 gallons of fuel oil.
Huh.
So later on, they took number 4 ball out and put 4 10,000-gallon tanks
Ah.
down there to give you 130,000. Give about a range.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
Pretty
and
good.
you never, we could, I forget what, we could do pretty good speed on the 4 stacker.
Yeah.
I forget what the speed was, about 29 knots, I think.
Yeah.
Or 31.
Now this would have been before the war started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It would just pretty much go up and down the coast.
No, when I got on it, when I got on it, up in Newport, I think I got on Newport. No, we went down to Cuba and had the Yucatan Patrol, and we around there, and then we come back north, and then the war started, and we were convoying ships up that were going to Mermans.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then,
my.
And of course we worked out a Reykjavik call up in the forward back in there, and so 6, 8 ships were going in ice because we also had a air base there on the base, but we were back in the forward, and we had a sort of something, so we'd break off with our ships and bring them in Iceland, but the whole convoy, we'd have convoys 115, 30, 130 ships, and some of them made it enough to not travel but about 3 knots.
Huh. 3 knots? Holy smokes.
We lost on one, and they used to send the convoys around, I don't know why, the far where they didn't have much coverage from air coverage, where PBYs on it, and it was safe. We lost 30 ships in 2 nights.
Oh my word.
18 one night, 12 the next.
Holy smokes.
Because they hit these wolf packs.
Yeah.
And we destroyed, and the corvettes, the English, be running in and out, and you couldn't get in there. They depth charged one, and it come to the surface. It couldn't get back to it. And the submarines could outrun the corvette, the British corvette.
Oh my word.
They had better speed.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. But the corvettes couldn't make about 18 knots, I don't think.
Huh.
We could, but we couldn't get in there.
You said something about Murmansk. Did you go all the way into Murmansk?
No, we'd take them past Iceland up some way, and then we'd break off and come back.
Oh, okay.
And see, we were just one ship.
Okay. Yeah.
But and we did that till I got transferred. Of course, we'd break off. We were in the when I got transferred off the Babbitt to go to the Kidd, we were in the Navy Yard, New York, and so. But I was off and on 2 miserable years up there. I'm saying, if you go around the Davis Straits with the cold water coming out of Antarctica, and you stay cold the whole time. Another time, if you run in the Gulf Stream, which was warmer water, but the submarines were there. But they were a lot of ships. it'd be amazing if people knew how many ships got sunk during the war.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm amazed at the number of submarines that got sunk during the war. I saw, like, how many of ours. I had a book, don't know where it is right now, which shows about all the submarines we lost during the war.
Yeah.
But we lost them.
Did your ship sink any submarines, or do you know that?
Yeah, we sunk. We went to GQ one night about 9 o'clock, and stayed at GQ till 11 o'clock the next morning.
Okay.
We had so many contacts, we started rationing 2 depth charges to the contact.
Holy smokes.
We had 63 depth charges.
Yeah.
That's about the most we could carry. And we had a Y gun, and you could blast them out both
Okay,
sides.
shoot them out.
Now, on the Kidd now, we had 4 K guns, 2 on port and starboard,
Okay.
along with the racks back in the back. Yeah, I think we sunk 2 submarines, and the group, we were in Ireland, and they went to London went to Dublin, and then went over on the radio or whatever they had. But yeah, you could. A lot of times you wouldn't know if you.
Yeah, I'd kind of wonder if how would you know if you actually sunk one,
You
because they'd be
wouldn't- you
underwater,
wouldn't
you wouldn't
really
see
know.
them. Yeah.
But they confirmed it too. We did.
Okay.
Uh,
Would it be like an oil slick come up, or?
Yeah, I really don't know. I tell you what we were. The one ship got sunk, one of them, and I don't know what nationality it was, but they were on this wooden raft. So we went alongside, was picking them up, thought we were going to kill one, get him in between that, was a heavy raft, wood raft.
Yeah.
But finally got him out of there. But while we was there, I had the light in the water, had the torpedo come streaking right around the side. So you were always there. And then sometimes I think one time I was shooting for some reason, shooting at something, and you had one of our ships on the other side. You know, that happened too. You strafe your own ship shooting at something else.
That could happen in a convoy.
It was real comical. One of the, I don't know if you won't get that far, but we were in the Solomons, and one of the largest air attacks we were ever under was around Rabaul. And I think they had something considered about 85 planes. And we had a lot of them in there, and they were all over. But this 40 millimeter director, he was shooting at this one jet plane, was coming over there, and it got to the bow of one of our destroyers, and he stopped firing and then swung around to the fantail, and as soon as he got another sight on it, he commenced shooting again. I could imagine whoever was on that crew over there, what they were thinking, you know. But it was just, some was really comical type, although ain't nothing funny about it, but
Well, it would be in the heat of battle. You're just,
yeah.
just not thinking straight.
And dangerous at the same time.
So you come back to, what's that damn fool doing over there? You know. But I happened to notice I was up there that one day watching that, and the way he swung around there. And we were in Guam, around Guam, and had Jap planes come in about dusty dark one day. We had lost at Liscombe Bay on the other side of, I don't know what that was, in Gilbert tomorrow. But anyway, it just exploded. They were floating in, they were made of tankers anyway, and they were floating bombs, and it just got hit by a torpedo and blew up. So I said, well, I don't want to go up. If one goes up, I'm going to look at it. So in Guam, we had this, they come in just dusty dawn. We had planes all over. And here this one plane come in and drop one of the longest torpedo bomb, longest air torpedoes I saw. And right at one of the Jeep cars. And I was focused on that thing. And lucky enough, it went under the ship. It didn't strike it.
Wow.
But anyway, we had this boy named Costello, was a 20mm gunner, and one of the best we had.
Yeah.
I thought. And this one plane come in, didn't have the lights on it. So he cut loose on it and crippled it, so they had to ditch the plane.
Huh.
So he took him off the gun because he shot that. But normally you had an officer, somebody there. We had two 20mm on each side, midship, and then had three on the fantail.
Right.
And so they took him off of it. But I don't think it took him off long, but they had to do something to satisfy the hierarchy type thing.
You mentioned being around Rabaul. Did you ever come across a destroyer called the Jarvis?
We knew it was there. I knew the Jarvis. We were never, I don't know where we operated with it. We might have been operating, in the Third Fleet or Fifth Fleet, which were one and the same.
Yeah.
When Holiday had it with the Third Fleet, and when what is that name? Was the smartest admiral, with the Fifth Fleet. But you had a perimeter of destroyers. I think it was about 45 destroyers that were the perimeter of it, along with we had 6 carriers.
Yeah.
Had 8 cruisers, and just an enormous amount of.
Yeah.
And they had 4 of those. Had 4 groups.
Yeah, we interviewed a guy who was on the Jarvis, and they were closing, one of the doors or something. Anyway, he broke his arm, and they were headed back toward Pearl Harbor at the time. Well, they let him off to get patched up. Ship went on, and it wasn't heard of after that until we went through the Japanese records later on and found out that they'd sunk it. And everybody on board was
Yeah, I
gone.
think I heard about that.
Yeah.
We had one destroyer that had 6 suicide planes. And the 7th was ricocheted and hit the destroyer was alongside him.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And it wiped, I forget the name of the destroyer, but it wiped the whole superstructure, I mean completely, off that ship. It was just completely, the bridge, everything, just wiped it all off. It looked like to me it wasn't nothing on that, but it didn't sink it.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Laffey maybe, or Leafy, or I can't remember. It's Leafy.
Rapid, I don't know what it was. It was, and they don't list it. Was one, and I saw the picture. They got the picture somewhere of it.
Yeah.
But it's strange.
Well, they sure took a beating.
They're like like bees,
Yeah.
When they go out to something, they just staff it. It was, and the flak, with 5-inch, 3-inch, whatever they had, and all the 40mm with all that, when they run, they exploded, the 40mm, and it was all over, and it was hard sometimes to even see planes coming through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never thought of that. Would give them some advantage in some cases,
Yeah. That's the reason some of them got in there.
Yeah.
And,
I want to go back to the Babbitt up in the North Atlantic. What was your base in the North Atlantic?
Reykjavik,
Iceland?
Iceland, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's about 20 miles from Reykjavik, which is the
Okay.
capital. Back in there, I had a Ford, went back in it.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of that, but anyway.
What'd you think of Iceland?
Huh?
What'd you think of Iceland?
Well, they were anti-American. They were German. They liked the Germans better than really. And strangely enough, a second-class boatmate married a girl up there, and we had a captain in the Navy who was from Iceland.
Yeah.
He was captain of one ship. But they were real cold, and I don't think we were very friendly to them either,
Yeah.
I thought about it, but they had some of the best pastries. We go there, I don't know why, but we go, and some of them old men, they wore shorts, we'd be freezing, they would be jogging along. You know, look at 'em. But I didn't ever go there too many. And they had had a party for the ship over there, and that was Fiasco, I think. With
Yeah.
2 or 3 girls there. So I didn't. So we just didn't go there a lot. We just.
Yeah.
And I run in fact, I run the captain gig, and I run out of ground.
Oh boy.
Yeah. See, we were anchored on the far side of a little island out in the bay,
Yeah.
up in Reykjavik. And you're supposed to, and I followed this ship out, going out at night.
Yeah.
And I just come a little bit, and didn't have any lights to refer. If I'd have kept straight on out, then you go a certain range, and then you turn. But this little reef, I run up on it. So I jumped out in waist deep water and pushed it back up. Had the junior officers in there. And they got me up at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, your boat's sinking. So I had to pick it up and knock the hole in.
Oh no. I bet that made you popular.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't too much made of it.
Huh.
But later on, if you could get court-martial or go to mass for that.
Yeah.
I was on to Boston. We had a boy, he run a big boat. He run it aground. Went to mass for it. It's something you don't mean, but then you're supposed to be more alert the way. Because
Right.
you had buoys and everything. We were in Guantanamo Bay, and he run that aground. And you got good markings, good lights and all. You should never run aground.
Wouldn't think so.
Run your course. It says time your courses, speed and all.
Yeah.
And but running in fog is that you put doubt in your mind. I don't care what you know your course, you know your speed, but still doubt the way you're going the right way.
Yeah.
When you're in fog, you
Yeah.
will never know where you are.
Yeah.
Till you get some point reference point. Yeah.
Now, you were in service when Pearl Harbor was attacked.
We
Where
were,
were you? How'd
we
you
were
hear
2
about it?
days out of Reykjavik.
Okay.
Coming back down here to close to Newfoundland around there. We used to pick up convoys below Newfoundland and take them back out.
So you were actually escorting convoys before the United States got in the war.
Oh yeah.
You were just getting stuff over to Britain. That's why the British picked it up halfway and took them on in.
In Russia, yeah.
That makes sense to me
Yeah.
now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you in Reykjavik and they heard about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So we were 2 days out of Reykjavik coming back this way.
How'd that change your situation?
Well, you know, war is a young man game because they don't worry about nothing and don't think about nothing. Really. And not only that, you want to be right up in the front line where everything is. You want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
They put us in the 7th Fleet one time, and I didn't like that too. That we were covering all the landers in New Guinea. Oh well.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 landers we covered. And back then, the fleet speed was 15 knots. They set a fleet speed.
Oh, gee.
And, well, Captain Roby got relieved, and this captain relieved him. And somebody, there was more guard mail. And this one ship was doing a little bit, and the captain, he'd get on the bullhorn. I thought the fleet speed was 15 knots. He didn't care who he talked to.
Yeah.
But but we covered all that, and it was good to be back when we went back north when they were covering the Gilberts and the Marshalls and all that.
So when the war broke out, you headed back to, you stayed in the same area you were in for a while, or you headed on back to New
Stayed there
York?
till 43. We done that. We just covered the North Atlantic for
Okay, till 43.
43.
All right.
Yeah.
So you came back in 43, you came back to New York, and you,
We were in the yard.
okay.
And that's when I got transferred. And I don't know where. Somebody said I don't know where the kid was. What was in New York? Oh. Don't seem like it had been in Newport or in Boston. Might have been, or it could have been in Norfolk.
Yeah.
But I know that I left.
Now, Kidd, was that a Fletcher class?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it different from the Bassett? I mean, was it? Do you think it was a better ship than what the Bassett was, or
Well, the Babbitt was.
Babbitt rather? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had. They had a 3-inch 50 where they had 4 of them. Had one on the forecastle, 2 on the 01 deck, back on galley deck house, and then had one back half on the after deck.
Yeah.
Then you had 4 sets of 2 torpedoes, 3 torpedoes to do 4 of those 4 sets.
Okay.
And then you had we had mounts for the not the sub-Thompson, but the machine guns. We could put them on there. Well, if you remember seeing the Panay back in '37 when
Yeah.
and they mounted them, and you had those. We had 50 caliber machine guns on the galley deck house. 2 of those. We had a back of it. Had 2 50 millimeter. And then I had a 3-inch 23 on the fantail. And the depth charges. And the K gun. And that's all we had there.
Yeah.
But strange enough, and you take the Fletcher class, it was more versatile in a sense than the 2250s. 2250s come out with 3 twin 5-inch 38. Now you had 5, so you could go different ways. Didn't have much firepower concentrate.
Yeah.
But you look at it, we had the 40 millimeter port and starboard on back by the up forward on the forward bridge, then back by the stack after stack, and then one back. So then with the 20 millimeters and all your depth charge and torpedoes, we had 2 sets of 5, 2 torpedoes. It took one of them out later on. But they had a lot of firepower.
Yeah, I reckon.
More, I thought, more than the 2250.
How'd the speed compare between the 2 ships?
They could do people didn't ever believe it. I think we could do about 43 knots.
Holy smokes.
Seemed like to me.
Oh, my.
That seemed like but they could move.
Huh.
They had the belt map they were experimenting with 1,200 pounds superheated steam operating from the main deck and operated out of New York or Philadelphia. But anyway, they'd operate from the top side. And they could do 56 knots with that thing.
Wow.
And they come back and they didn't understand why they could do that. And they said it tore it down something, but never could attain that again.
Huh.
But you had, it's just like anything. Your screws can only go to a certain amount, then it starts to drag.
Yeah.
It'll drag. But they said they did 56 knots.
Huh.
But we could move. We could really move.
I'd reckon.
And
I reckon.
and first year we were on, that we operated we went 97,000 miles. They had that, they got that in that on that printout, on the Kidd printout.
Yeah.
What you did on the first year,
Yeah.
where you went and all that.
Wow.
I don't know if you've run into one of those printouts.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bet you I could get it from Joe though.
Yeah.
Schulte. Yeah.
And also,
Now you went down the coast through the Panama Canal and out toward the Pacific. Is that?
yeah, when I got on it, we operated on this coast for a little bit. We went down to Trinidad for some reason or other, and then operation come back to Norfolk. And then and the South Dakota was in Norfolk. We picked up them, and we were escorting the South Dakota. Went through the canal, heading for the South Pacific. And then they were using, I forget that, some shippers offset, and they were firing these 5-inch, and it was supposed to hit in our wake, in between us, but two of the shells hit us. One ricocheted off war. One come through. In fact, talking about Coca on that, he probably saved my life. I was an OBH operator, and I was in the repair party, and I didn't have my tendon line. And we were going down. They had these flush deck hatches you open up. It was flush with the deck and go down. So I didn't have it, so Coca sent me back to get my tendon. When I come back, one of those shells had ricocheted and come right over that hatch, went through a boom, and went into the bulkhead, and went into the doctor, I think it was the doctor's stateroom, and went into his closet with all his clothes. And I said, where's all these rags coming from? He said, them ain't rags, them is my clothes. And they told, but one hit on the water line, went through at the mess deck, and went out the port side.
Oh, for heaven's
So
sakes.
they had to put the copper down, plug those holes up.
Yeah.
So then we had to turn north and go to Pearl Harbor. Left them there and went back. And then after we left there, we went back down to New Hebrides and then to the South Pacific.
Okay. Now, was Captain Roby in charge at this time?
Uh-huh.
I heard he was a pretty good captain.
He was a jewel.
Yeah.
Never, you could say people in most of their extra, but not, we went alongside a carrier for something, and we closed in pretty close. And we were close to the sponsor where he was standing, and he put his hand up on that sponsor just like he's going to push that ship right away. But he just didn't seem like it bothered him. He knew what was going on, and it just didn't bother him.
Huh.
It's amazing about him. So and then he got, Moore was the skipper that relieved him.
Okay.
And he went to Bureau. So when I got transferred off to Kidd, and I was going to a ship. I got married. Then I got married. But I was going to, thought it'd be in Norfolk, but they sent me to New York. But I went through Washington, saw him, and he was in the Bureau. Huh. And I kept him trying. And so I lost him till later on. I was on the Des Moines. And lo and behold, the skipper of Salem was Captain Roby.
Huh.
He come over there, and what makes you feel so good about it, I hadn't seen him since I had seen him in the Bureau. And I walked in because I had to come up there to see him. And he said, how are you, Barkley? I said, you don't know how good that makes you feel for somebody to recognize you.
Oh, yeah.
And so we kept in contact. I lost him after that, but till he moved and they were going to the reunion. And he lived in Suffolk, out off 17.
Okay.
And I got back and stayed real close, and we'd go visit. I'd go, and then he moved down Hague's Tower, the tower down Portsmouth. So I go down and see him real often till he moved, and they finally ended up in Charlottesville in the nursing home where she died and he died.
Mm. Where's he buried?
They were buried in Alden.
Okay.
In fact, his wife was the daughter of the Attorney General of Kentucky.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Hadn't heard that.
So when she died, they asked me, I said, I figured she'd be born in Kentucky. So, but he kept her, and he said no. So he kept her till he died, and they were buried together, to stack them. Mm-hmm. And so they were buried in Alden.
Huh. I'll be darned. Yeah. Were you in on the invasion of Guadalcanal? Were you in that area during some of that?
No. The little Beaver Squadron covered that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now the Kidd was damaged and went back to Pearl Harbor.
And then we left there, and that's when they'd already gone to Guadalcanal, was marching over the ball. and we came back to New Hebrides and stayed there, and then we left out of there and went back in, and that's when we went. I think the first one we covered was Revolve,
Okay.
and then we covered others, which I can't remember now, but we covered 3 or 4 landings, I forget, on New Guinea before we went back north, and we went north and with the fast fleet, and then it shifted back. Well, no, I was in 7th Fleet, but we stayed with the fast fleet from then on, and we go back and forth.
What about New Guinea? What kind of an invasion was that? How'd that go? Was it pretty tough, New Guinea?
Well, we were sort of back. We wasn't in close.
Okay.
We were just with the support, with the 7th Fleet support, and we just we screened the forces.
Okay.
So we really didn't know. All we knew was what we read anyway about all those. But we did go in. We went in, like Hollandia. We went Hollandia, and we'd go in those ports afterwards, and a couple places. But we just stay in there. Not like Burke. You know, Burke had the little Beaver Squadron, and he'd take that squadron and he'd sweep he'd find out where the Jap were, a big well, and take that whole squadron, go in the harbor and come out. That's where he got it. And he got his name, 31 knot, 30 knot Burke. We were covering the land, and that was in the Marshall. And he was chasing some Jap ship.
Yeah.
He said, they're doing 31 knots, we're not doing the 30, but we're going to catch them. That's where he got that nickname from. Yeah. He was a horse, too. Then he made Admiral. I was on, he was on one battleship, his flag. I forget what I was on. But there's something he didn't like, you know, sailors have a habit of taking a swab and throwing them over the stern.
Yeah.
Clean them. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
Become a long time. He'd let them know about it, too. So you got them damn swabs dangling over the stern. Get rid of them.
Oh, boy. It's always something.
Yeah, he's well thought, because the name of the ship's after him, you know, Charlie Burke. You know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was smart.
Huh.
Spruance was Admiral and he took the 5th Fleet.
Okay. Okay.
And I read a book. It was a book. It was condensed from about a volume of 5 or 15 books. But I read that book, and we had broken their codes, and all the blunders that we made. Said, how in the world could we win a war making that many blunders? I said, some of the stupidest things, and you knew this, that, and other. But I asked Admiral Robert, I said, everything Spruance did was right. I said, everything I read he did. He said he was a scholar and a man that thought all the time. So that's the reason he was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty sharp.
And they wrote a book, The Quiet Warrior, is about Spruance.
Okay. Okay.
I got that book up there. I get him a book.
You ever serve under Admiral Fletcher?
Not Fletcher. Fletcher was before. He was what was he? I remember we were in New York. Never did serve with him. I remember, but they had that. He had a. What was the boat's name? Yeah, I think the president used it later on. But I knew him. But was one named Freckler too.
Yeah.
Was one named Freckler.
Yeah.
Fletcher. I forget where Fletcher. Yeah. Who was the? Can't remember who had the carrier force. Was that Fletcher?
I think Fletcher was at Midway. But
yeah, but
I don't think he was admiral at the time, was he? I don't recall.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But this one real skinny admiral, I can't think of the name, whether it was Fletcher or not. He never faced the bow. He always rode with his back to always looked back at the And he was quite a animal. In fact, he came over, might have been Fletcher. After he left out there, he came with command of over at the St. Lamprey headquarters.
Okay.
And, I think it was Fletcher. Time sort of lose you in names, get mixed up.
When did you transfer off the Kidd? Did you transfer off the Kidd before they went into Okinawa? And were hit
No,
by...
we covered that. That's where we got hit.
Okay, that's where you got hit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And we came back.
All right.
I have a story about that too.
Yeah.
So Bernard had known, and this guy, what's his name? Can't think of his name now. But anyway, we got hit, and we came into Carolina, and they had a lot of tenders there, and good tenders, but they had a Hamel was there, was a repair. So that's they got us, and we went, and they had about one of the best repair crews there was. They had big repair ship could do, but they were good. So they fixed us up, and we came back to the States. They had, when it hit, it blasted, and all we had was 3 or 4 longitudinal holding the ship from breaking, the way I understand it. And so then we came back. So when we got back to the States, this guy Gilboy was ensign when he came, and he's JG, and he ended up was first lieutenant, and he's still living, I think. But anyway, I could have made chief in 44, but he didn't want to rate me chief. He said, I want you to act towards me as chief. I said, you can't do it. I said, I might want the teacher to tell him to go to hell, but I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
I said, if you ain't going to rate somebody chief on here, go on the beach and get one. But anyway, I was on his list, so when we got back to the States, I was going to get married at the same time. Anyway, but he transferred me off to Treasure Island. And a week later, he got transferred off. Anyway, but, and see how things were. So I was over there, and they were planning on putting me on another ship, send me back out to the Pacific.
Okay.
So I come out of the office in Pond, and I had this seaman that worked for me was over there for some reason. So while I would tell him my dilemma or not, I did, you know. He said, well, why don't you go up there to the administrative office and see this first class up there and see what he can do. You know. But I didn't know all this went on. But them assignment people, for a little bit of money, they'd send you anywhere in the world. Oh. And that was over, not only... Yeah. So, so I went up. He said, I can't do nothing. I said, man, I'm supposed to get married. And that was in May.
Yeah.
Last of May. He said, you want to go to the East Coast? I said, yeah. He said, well, take this slip and get, they what do you call it? I forget. Anyway. And then you'll be on a draft Monday morning. And I was a draft for one myself. I come east. I was going to fly east, but I rode that train. I had the Challenger, which is a thing about that Challenger. So many of them. So it took me about 3 days to come across on it. So I got back to here on the 4th, and we got married on the 8th. Huh. So all that time I had to get blood tests and all that. So it was a busy time between the 4th and 8th.
Well, I'd reckon.
So then that's when I thought that I was going to be in novel. They sent me up to Fort Director in New York. Huh. Yeah.
Well, at that time you were just lucky to be alive.
Yeah. It was fortunate because I was in repair party, and I didn't like repair party, so I switched with this guy, and I forget his name. He was heavy set. But when we got hit, a bunch of them on the port side, the hatch that goes down into the mess hall, through the steward's compartment, on the second deck, and they run in there, and the bomb exploded on that side. We had 3 acetylene balls over there. They exploded. They blew half the bridge off, just about. A lot of damage on it.
Oh, my.
And they blew them. You couldn't find a piece of, it was quite a few of them too, a piece of them big as you fit.
Oh, my.
And the CIC was right next to it, right there, the whole time. And it just blasted it. One boy that was working on a computer right in that corner killed him. But the rest of them, they just got burned. And we had this incident, can't think of his name, and I thought the world of him, and I still send his wife a card. He died. A piece of shrapnel took his muscle out, so he had that. So, but it just burnt that place up there.
I'm surprised you ain't
But and people was over there up on the bridge and all that killed some of them. But the people in the number one, the bomb went in the number one engine room, killed everybody in it, and then some on the deck around on that side.
Yeah.
And the doctor, he was coming down that port side. A piece of shrapnel hit him in the ricochet, lost his eye. And then I jumped out of my mount and I went up on the bridge. Shouldn't have never went up there, you know, but people were all over, and one boy, tall people, had both legs blown off and had tumor, and he was jammed up under this step there. So they wanted to get out from under it, and I tried to pick him, and he hurt so bad. I said, well, they'll be picked up, but he died. Had this boy named Fall was a Sigmund. The only thing I saw damaged about him was his heel. His heel got blown off.
Huh.
But he had lost so much blood, he was sort of yellow.
Yeah.
And his mouth was just moving. And I don't know, they give you these morphine syringes for half of them. And if you put somebody, then you put an M on the rods, you know. 8 out of the 9 on that 40 millimeter on the port side, just by the mount here and the 40 millimeter, 8 out of 9 of them got killed on it. And one boy, I remember his name now, was 19 years old that day. And a piece of shrapnel took his whole face right out.
Oh. With all that damage to the bridge, it must have taken out half the officers.
No, it was just on that one quarter.
Just that one quarter?
On the back quarter of the bridge. And it's sort of comical in a lot of sense. Had this boy named Ike Ricky, was a storekeeper. And he got hit. A piece of shrapnel hit him up in the head, I think. He put out running, and he reached the end of his phone, and it snatched him down.
Oh.
And he said, I got up and run again, and snatched him down again. So he said, I lay there. So I cut him out of his phone. And this supply officer was phone talking, standing between the captain and somebody else. He died from it. He died. The captain got hit in the hind parts with shrapnel. And he sort of like to show it off to people later on, I understand. But a real shame, because I forget his name, Barry, his name started with a B, but he was real fine and he died. But I forget how many died on the bridge, but just on that one quarter, this Sigmund, the torpedo and and this one boy was a gunner's mate, had a director, a 40 millimeter director for the port side up on the forward, on the bridge on the left side. And he got hit by shrapnel in his private part. So damaged one, they figured they'd take that wound off. Said half was about none at all, you know, but they finally had to take it out. But we transferred a lot of them to other ships that were wounded.
Had a crew of what, about 300?
That's like 350 to 75. I think seemed like it was about 350 somewhere along there. Yeah.
Okay. And lost how many?
We lost 39 were killed.
That's a...
And They said it was 55 wounded. I thought it was more than that.
So you lost about a third of your crew there in
Yeah, they
casualties.
had one boy named Olson, was an electrician, and they were two electricians, third class, one named Hill and named Olson. And they dove. See, that plane come in on the starboard side and hit at the water level. And then the bomb went through that hole. They hit the main steam stop. And this boy Comedy was first class. And when he opened up the hatch, Comedy was standing on this ladder, but what they were doing, they had number 1, 3, 4 boilers in line. They were going to put number 2 boiler on the line. And he was watching the check man, was on the second level on that, cutting that in, you know. And when it hit that main steam, and that superheated steam hit him, it just cooked him and killed him right there.
Oh.
But I thought, that he was just standing on the ladder.
Yeah.
But that's where he's standing,
Oh,
and just froze on that.
oh my word.
And it killed all of them in there. And strangely enough, the engineer officer, his station was in number 1 engine room. But they had this number on the board, 59 or 69 come across, and he said that was his unlucky number. So he said he'd come out there and go in number 1 fire room. Got down there and he got killed.
Oh.
Could have stayed there. But that was it. Didn't do nothing, no other damage other than that 1 fire room. Of course, we had to we built sort of like a raft and tack matches on the thing, pulled in on that hole, keep the water from coming in, beating against it. It was a shame. And we got a lot of that. We got into Manus. Seemed like we were Manus. And they got the rest of them out in the, couldn't get them all, some sort of shame.
Mm.
But Olson, tell him about Olson, a piece of shrapnel took his head off. And they were down, and he dove through a hatch. And I said, I don't know how in the world it could have come back there, but when things fly, you don't know how speed does it, but shrapnel would hit that metal, aluminum, and splatter it. You take a rock, like you're throwing in mud, and how it splatter. That's exactly how the shrapnel does metal.
Huh.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I was noticing it's sort of strange stuff. But we buried everybody except the ones that we didn't get out of the fire room until we got into Manus, I think it was. And we buried them on the beach. One or two, I think it was 1 or 2.
Tough duty for the captain having to write all those letters.
Yeah, whoever did write them.
Yeah.
We had a deck on them. Our administrative might have taken care. He had to sign them anyway. Yeah. But had the deck named Hill. Captain Rover was lieutenant commander when he took command of that ship, and then he made commander right after. And I don't know what Hill was. Seemed like he was always lieutenant commander, but he might have been lieutenant.
Now, was Roby the captain when it was hit, or?
No, more.
Okay.
See, he got relieved.
All right. I thought maybe he wasn't on.
Yeah,
there
he got
yet.
relieved. Went to, I forget what time, when he did get relieved. It was 44. Must have been like 44.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Still okay on the picture? Light's changing a little bit.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, came back to the States and had a little better duty than having your ship blown up. You got to,
Yeah, well.
go home and get married.
Soon as I got transferred and got all that and come back, and then I went to port director. And that was pretty good in some sense. We stripped a lot of U-boats that we bring back and send them in the yard and redo them. You had them with sub-Thompson machine gun and bullets all over and all that stuff. We'd take it out, and then when they come back, we'd refurbish them. That's what we would. That was our and all the mess we had on the pit. We messed with. And,
Now, you repaired the U-boats that we had captured?
no, it was no LCU.
Oh,
LSU.
Oh.
They were big, you know. They like the VP, but LSU,
Right.
LCU, and they some come back in 3 sections. So, in fact, they carried on the Francis Marion. They carried one of those U-boats, and they had they were about 74 ton or something of them. But they were operating with the horse they had wasn't qualified for that, but they picked them up, so they redid it then. But that's what we did now.
Did you get back out to sea again?
Yeah, well, I stayed in there till 46, and then I got transferred from port director to a tanker, Salamone,
Okay.
and that was up in Newport. So I got up there. Well, I had been sent to this little Emma Island KA with a couple of 175, 200 foot that they Emma Island carrying stores and all. And they had 2 cheap boats made on there already. So I was working on it, and then one come up. Sad day I did that too. And so they come up and said, you got to transfer one going to a tanker. So this one boy, I can't think of his name, but he ended up working over the base. He said, I'll take it. I said, no, my bags are packed, I'll go. So I went up there, and it was anchored out, tied up alongside, and so the pocket truck was 108.
Yeah.
Was there. That thing was squared away, beautiful paint job and all. And come over to Salamone with L26, a rust bucket. I said, what in the hell did I do to rate this? But anyway, I went on there and had 1/3 class boatmate was all I had on that. So I had to, and then we finally put in to get some more petty officers. Then they ended up sending a full first class. But then they had this captain on a training period, so we had to make out. So we had training sessions twice a day. So I had about 16 men that I was training to go up to 3rd class. 15 of them made it. It's training enough. So you had a structure. The boats made had 14. 10 of them was 3rd class.
Yeah.
So I went in and started question and answer and all that. All they had to do was study them questions. That's the reason I said I tried to tell my grandma, if we get in school, all the tests you have every week, and study them.
Yeah.
Because the examination is coming out of them questions. And all they had to do was study them. So when they got 15 or 16 made 3rd class. But I got to doing pretty well. It looked pretty good. And we go into med and back. That was a lot of work on the tanker. They worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes you top them, you fuel them destroyers, and the next day you top them off again. So, and
I don't think I want to be on a tanker.
that worked. But even your cargo, I was on a Regal, and I was boating on it. No, I was on the Mountain Trail. I was first lieutenant on the Regal. Now, they do a lot of work. They had these new supply ships, like the Concord and all them.
Right.
They had the new rigs and all, which is better in some senses, but they could not pump the stores that we could do. We could take the yard and stay, and we could put fire station out there, and I think the best we did was 416 ton an hour of store, because we could really.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, And then some carrier ordered lockers. I think they got 400 lockers. And they put them on our hind parts. We had them all over the deck. And we started to send them up there, trying to figure ways to box them in where it was
Right.
full. Send them up. Didn't take long once you figured out that. But that was good.
Yeah.
And the only time underway replenishing is when it's rough. If the seas are calm, that's a beautiful thing. But when you get rough seas, we had one, we was up there, and we'd lose stores, and it's down up there that if people don't know what they're doing. I've seen seamen come up there, didn't know nothing, and go to be men, and could handle stuff better than I could do it. I could tell them how to do it. I couldn't do it, but I could tell them how to do it. And they were real good. But so we was in one North Atlantic operation, went to Scandinavia. I started putting them back in nets. And the surprise said, we set their friends back 20 years. I said, well, yeah, but we're getting the damn stores over on the other ship too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but all of it is all a good training in you. When you know, when I was on amphibious, and it shakes you up. Something you don't really know, understand, and it's dangerous. It shakes you up. That's like I saw these movies, like, once you step the thing that's a danger and you ain't worrying about it, so you ain't gonna get killed no way. Just stand by me, you know. So it don't bother you. Can do the job you're supposed to do. And when you got them Mike boats up there, 28 tons swinging around when it's rough, and you're trying to control them,
Yeah.
it shakes you for a while. But then once you get used to it, say the hell with it. Let it swing around, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have been nervous about getting back on a destroyer again after having been on the Kidd and gone through all that?
Never went back on one.
Yeah, but would you have been nervous about doing it if they said,
Oh no, I wouldn't want to go back on it. I didn't want to get off the destroyers when I was on it.
Yeah.
But I said once I got off them, the destroyers looked real good from the decks of the battleship. And I was on 3 cruisers. I was on 3 battleships.
Okay.
But didn't want no carriers, didn't want no submarines or nothing like that. But no, that would have been a snap. Because when you're in deck, your main thing is all your seamanship exercises that you have, all keeping the ship looking like it should look,
Right.
and all that. But all that, you don't have any worries at all.
Yeah.
And when you get on a cargo or a tanker, and some boys like the boatmate would come aboard, they hadn't been on, and they look at all these rigs, it shakes them.
Oh, yeah?
I said, learn this one rig here. If you learn this one rig, you'll know all the rest of them,
That's right.
and you can do it. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about nothing. You got something come back and ask. We had boys who were taken prisoner during the war. They come back afterwards, and they were seamen or something like that, and they were rated first class as chiefs. So, like, I had 2 boys come with it that way. One thought he knew everything, didn't know nothing. But the other one worried about what he didn't know and wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I said, you just so close to me, around me, and you ask something if you want to know, I'll show you what you do. It ain't that bad, and you just got time to learn. So that's the difference in people and leadership, to let a man do what he can do, and when he ain't running into problems, show him what to do.
I'll take attitude over education any day.
And I was on the gator freighter and had this one first class. Now I thought something would work one way. He thought it was another.
Yeah.
I said, well, let's do it my way. He said, I don't like it, but I said, if you don't like it, you don't think it is, you come back and tell me. So later on, he said, I get your point. You know? But yeah, you let a person do what. In fact, it alleviates you too, because if they know what they're doing, you just sit back and just enjoy it.
That's right.
So when I was on the PA, I had a first class, and I was always up there. That's why she's doing this, that. He said, Chief, why don't you go back and get a cup of coffee? You know.
Yeah.
He said, get the hell out of the way and let me do my job. But that's what he should do.
Yeah, that's right. Now, you were on, you say, 3 cruisers and 3 battleships?
Yeah, I was on the, well, I was on North Carolina for a short while, and then I was on the Missouri, but I was on the Wyoming as a training ship, not that. But that was something. But I liked the battleship.
Yeah.
I was over here in the reserve fleet, and my neighbor next door, or back of me, was in service force.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get on something, but he said, can't do that. Says, I might get you on the Pittsburgh. I said, I won't go on the Pittsburgh. I was a cruiser.
Yeah.
So we picked but he got me on the Missouri. But he was still where I said, don't worry about it. I'll go to the Missouri, you know.
Huh.
So I went on Missouri.
Yeah, what'd you think of Missouri? That was a big ship now.
Oh yeah, they're 880 feet.
Now, is that the same size as the Wisconsin over
Yeah,
there?
both of them. That's the 4 of them.
Okay.
See, they was going to build 6,
Yeah.
and they built the Iowa,
Iowa,
and
Jersey.
the New Jersey, and the Missouri, and the Wisconsin. And they had the Kentucky and another one. I forget what it was, but if you remember, the Wisconsin rammed some ship.
Mm-hmm.
So they took the bow, that was almost complete, the Kentucky.
Yeah.
So they cut the bow off the Kentucky
Yeah.
and put it on the Wisconsin.
Yeah, we got that story yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and I forget what was going to be 6 of them though. And they were going to build 2 battle cruisers. They were beautiful ships. They did build them.
Yeah.
And the strange story about that, after the war, they were going to use one of the battle cruisers, which would carry 12-inch gun, use it as a missile cruiser, and show you how stupid communication is, as I understand it. They sent a message to them to take 3 turret off. Didn't say turrets, 3 turret.
Yeah.
They could have went and said, take number 3 turret off, but they took all 3 turrets off. In some way, it buckled their hull, so the solets were scrapped.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That was
They
dumb.
would have been beautiful missile crews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever come across the Indianapolis?
Well, we operated with it,
Okay.
and I read the story. Had a boy come off to Indianapolis. I think it was Indianapolis. We needed some replacement. They transferred some.
Yeah.
But I read that story. One of the stupidest things ever was made. Should never send any capital ship anywhere without an escort.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. Well, they had taken that bomb to Guam. I think it was Guam.
Tinian.
Well, yeah, Tinian, yeah. That was between,
Yeah.
between, and then didn't nobody know they were coming, leaving there, going to the Philippines. They hadn't contacted anything in an operation out that area.
Yeah.
So it was optional whether you use the zigzag plan or not use it.
Yeah.
So you maybe should use it. So McVeigh didn't use it. Was one of the finest skippers in his crew, perhaps he was. But on the other, King was CNO. And he was innocent. His father was admiral. Some admiral jumped down King's throat when he was an ensign. And maybe it was McVeigh's father or something. But he never forgot it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when they come up there, he handpicked the court-martial, and it's written in the record that he handpicked the court-martial, and he lost so many numbers, would never be able to go in high. And it was such a disgrace to him that, and he went out of the Navy. And when his wife died, he went out and laid on the front stoop and killed himself.
Yeah, we interviewed L.D. Cox in Comanche, Texas. He was on the bridge when it was sunk. And he said it didn't make any difference about zigzagging. It was so black you couldn't see a hand in front of your face. And it was just right around midnight, the clouds started parting, and that's when the sub got him. But he said that it wouldn't have made any difference.
That submarine commander said it wouldn't have made no difference. It
Not
took
a
me
bit of
3
difference.
minutes. He said it took me 3 minutes to figure out whether they zigzag or not.
Yeah.
And it's true, you know,
Yeah.
because it's real easy to figure them out.
LD said that families of the fellows who died on the Indianapolis would call Captain McVeigh around Christmas time and blame him and call him all kinds of dirty names because you killed my son. And he had to bear that.
That's right. And I was over in a hotel, at a bar in a hotel in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and I'd be sitting next to this woman I was talking to her. She was the exec of the Indianapolis, and she despised him. You know, she told me all this stuff. I said, well, you have to understand. If you don't understand, you understand because you have lost somebody, but you really don't understand the whole ramification thing.
Yeah.
Where they have no control over. And but that's true. I read about it. But the ones that lived, and they praised McVeigh. They said was none better that they had ever been with than him.
They stuck by him.
And it's a shame, you know. And you lost other people lost that were good skippers. Now, like Brown, when he run the Missouri ground, all he had to do was command that ship for like 8 months and make admiral. But it shows you how smart people can become stupid too, because he run and he said he mistook this buoy for something else. And so he stayed left. And they had told him. He said, I did not have any faith in my whatever you call it, not crew, the group up there, the navigator and all.
Yeah.
And they had told him, in fact, the exec had almost, as I understand it, was wanting to relieve him to countermand what he was doing. But before he did, he run aground. And he lost, and he was a smart man. He was well liked, and they transferred him off that, and he lost about 500 numbers. And they sent him down to Green Cove Spring, and took over one of the subgroups, and it wasn't that long before he had the whole. I think they had 8 subgroups in that Green Cove Spring, or something like that, and he run the whole thing. He was smart. It just said I didn't have any faith in my group.
Well, sure made a mistake there.
Yeah.
Now, was he captain when you were on the Missouri?
No, he wasn't. I forget, Fitzpatrick or something was skipper when I went on there.
Were you on there very long?
No, I was on there 2 years. I was on there 2 years.
Yeah.
I went on there 52 to 54.
Yeah. Okay.
And I left there and went to the Des Moines.
Okay.
Now, that was a fine ship. I knew that ship better than I knew any ship, because it was not a component. Well, Chief Master Arm, I would leave this guy, Chief Master Arm, and he came and took the Missouri, because the Missouri was going west. And so Lugo was his name. So he took my job and I took his.
Yeah, okay.
And so I knew every compartment, every board on that thing. I never knew a ship like I knew that one. And so I stayed on that at 58, then I left it and went to the Boston. Went to the Boston. Left the Boston, went to the Galveston. And then I got back, I forget where. I went to, I was up in the nuclear weapons twice. First time I was in nuclear, next time I was handling officer, went there. And then I got transferred out of there in 68 and went back to sea on the Regal from 68 to 70. That's when I retired. I retired off the Regal. But that was real good.
So you served from 38 until, or 39 until about 68?
Well, I really got in the 40s, yeah.
Okay.
And I got in 40 to 70. So
Okay.
I was 30 years and 33 days
Wow.
in the Navy.
Wow, that's pretty good now.
I wanted to stay long. I had to find me a billet. And had I not, see what I did, I fouled up. They said, make sure you take care of your report is, what do you call it? That's sent into the bureau, you know. Make sure it's all correct. The first 12 blocks. I didn't do that. I relied on the captain's office to do that. They didn't put all my qualifications in there. So I had done that. When I was commissioned with a class of, to show you some stupid people in there. So I was fifth in a class of 125, and I didn't consider myself smart. So you could look see what was back of me. But anyway, had I paid attention to my and made sure it was all filled out, then I would have made lieutenant commander, and it wouldn't be nothing to make commander. All you had to do. I was qualified for command and all that anyway. And but having said that, the good Lord looks out for stupid people, and He's done real good for me because so I retired. I had that time. So if I hadn't made lieutenant commander, I could not have gone to work for the Navy Yard or the government without giving 50% of my retired pay plus a percentage as long as I worked for the government. So I went to work for the government in the yard. Couldn't do that for 6 months after I retired. But I went to work in the yard, worked up to USS and so I retired with retirement from civil service, and then my retired pay in the Navy. But I would never had that any other way. So it's more than, so I'm a triple dipper, you know. And real fortunate. If I'd have made lieutenant, and if I ain't made commander, I would not make the money the day retirement that I do make. I get from that.
You did all right.
So just like I said, the good Lord looks out and He's done well for me, and I've been gifted with like so many boys and men that died before me, and I'll be 85 next month, and I hope to get to 90. Probably won't get there, but I'd like to. But I've been real fortunate. I've been run over automobiles and everything.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Got run over when I was a youngster.
Huh.
And fell out of a tree, broke the cement. And but we're going through the wall. And I just fortunate. I had a couple hundred by bad or by, but other than that, I've been real fortunate. And and look back on it, and I had some, well, so many people I don't remember on the Kidd. I knew them all when I was on that, and I know them when I see them, even pictures today. And I have a picture of most of them, of the crew when it was taken after when I commissioned, sent down to San Diego and put out a commission, you know. And one boy, that couch was in the laundry when I went on that. So I got to be friends with him, and I told him, I said, you don't want to spend your time in this laundry, get out. So got him on deck. He ended up first class, and then he went to the Coast Guard school and ended up and spent years well, they don't call it Merchant Marine, but it was Merchant Marine Academy went to navigate. But we had ships that were under government control, and he got to be captain of one of the largest satellite tracking ships. And then, but he was a diesel man, so they took him out because they had a catamaran was a diesel, and he was on that, and they were doing a survey over in Europe, and he died of a heart attack. So that name was Kyle. So he lived in New York, but he was like a brother. He was, not that Boy Clements was in Baton Rouge, and Eddie Kovalevsky lived up in Connecticut. Well, in fact, Eddie was a second class, and he was older than I was, but I didn't know that at the time. Just until later, didn't in fact know that till a year ago. But they were good. I appreciated them, and I had some good men. So the only one I had a lot of trouble with was a boy named Smeagol. He came off of a mine sweep, a mine layer.
Yeah.
And he didn't like the ship. He's third class. He got on the pier and gave him a bunch of crap. They drew him back aboard and busted him and sent him on. Sent him to the Kidd. But then he made third class. So when I was on that, and then he made second, then he made first. Well, I had two first class with Smeagol and Benny Morrison. Benny was old, skinny and drunk like that. Liked everybody, but contrary. But I was prominent. I was senior to them, and they were both temporary. Not that amount to a different because they converted back. So Smeagol gave me a lot of problems. So he come from West Virginia, about Simon type thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, we got along.
You've given a lot of detail about the crew. That's
That's
great.
They had the boys that I had a picture of me and the couch and all of them on the forecastle. Gilboy was up there, bigger than thing. But you knew them, you didn't associate with them, a lot of them, but you knew them, and and didn't care about it. A lot of like the snipes, they come over and throw all over the side and get on the side. Had this one first class water tender named Frenchie. I said, they're throwing all over on the side, getting on the side. He said, no, my man wouldn't do that. So one morning, I had a batch on the side.
Yeah.
So I dug him up there. I said, look over the side. So then he went back and got his crew in his fire room. Said, who done it? So nobody tell him they done it. So he got all three watchers and said, all of you get over the side and scream. Said, don't want up there, get over the side. But they were all likable. And when I went to reunions and I see them, although we didn't have any association with them too much, you appreciate them because you knew them.
Why don't we, I know we're a little early, but you start to say something about torpedo men here.
Yeah, well, torpedo men, they took care of the torpedoes and torpedo deck. They were supposed to take care of. And also, I think they took care of the depth charges. I'm not sure. But anyway, they wouldn't take care of the deck under it. And I was raising Cain about the thing. Yeah. Had this boy, first class, named Cruz. And then they had a chief, I think he's still living over on Battlefield Boulevard. I forget his name right now. But I was in charge of the deck, So I threw some water over on the port side one day and it sprayed back on that. And he was about 6'4".
Yeah.
I weighed 155 pounds. So he said, stop throwing that water over the side. I said, I'll throw it where I want to throw it. So he come to the ladder. He said, I'll come up there after you. I said, ain't nobody tell me you wouldn't start. Because I had a metal rack right there.
Yeah.
I said, ain't one that's batting him back down. But in the guns made in the tub, like on the 20 millimeter back, they were supposed to take care of that. Mm-hmm. So I had that problem. But other than that, but they did take care up on the torpedo deck, but down where the K guns and where they didn't take it. So.
Yeah, can't get sloppy on a ship.
We got hit. When we got hit, and then we got this other skipper. Think of his name. So I'd be up on the forecastle, sitting on the hatch there. He'd come up there and ask me a lot of questions. So I'd tell him a lot of things. I'd tell him when I wasn't satisfied. He said, I'll take care of it. It was real good. But he ended up, I forget his name, but he ended up, when they went to San Diego and put out a commission, he was still there. They took a picture of him. So I got a picture of the whole crew. Yeah.
I'd like to know something about how you met Evelyn. What's the story there? First of all, what's your wife's name?
Evelyn Benthel. Evelyn Benthel.
How you spell the last name?
Benthall.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And no, I was home on leave, and this boy, Porter Rock, was in the air station.
Yeah.
He was third class aviation machinist pilot. Anyway, so we went over to Murfreesboro one afternoon. It's not a conversation like that. And I had met this girl. What's her name? Anyway, so I went back that night and we pulled, and he dated this girl, Daphne Parker.
Yeah.
And went by Evelyn's house, and she's got a sister is my age. She's 82, I'm 85. And so, but she was babysitting. But one Evelyn, she said, I ain't going out with no sailor. So it was three of us. The boy had come along with Porter. So anyway, she came and ride, and Porter and Daphne in front, and this boy and Evelyn and I was in the back seat. And we were riding around, and I was thinking to myself, I said, that idiot thinks I'm going to get out of the car. He's crazy in hell. So he finally got out. We had this restaurant in Murfreesboro named Four Brothers.
Red Apple.
Huh?
Red Apple.
Red Apple.
Right.
Yeah, Red Apple. So he got out, and we rode around a while. And my dad knew a woman that lived on Main Street that they were real close to, and I just happened to mention it. And then come to find out that her mother worked with my mother's sister. And that's why we got, so that was in 42.
Okay.
I met her. So I kept going back over. So decided I was home in 44 that we get married. So we come back in last of, when did we get back? April. But anyway, we got back, and I had leave papers and it was going to fly. That's when they transferred me, and that's why I talked. So that's why I talked around. So I got on the East Coast. What I had told you before. But yeah, I'd go every chance to take the bus over there and then take the bus back home. I lived in Franklin at the time. Yeah, out in the country.
Looks to me like you made a pretty good choice there.
Oh yeah.
That was a good decision.
Yeah, that's
So you did at least something right in your life.
Oh yeah. Keep trying there. You better find. Yeah. Yeah. Not better than I deserve. Ain't me a matter. Yeah. So,
Okay. You had children by this marriage?
yeah, I got we have 5 children. What you say?
By this marriage, yes, you only got the one.
Yeah, I have a boy named Paul, is 60. And then I have a daughter, Linda, which Paul was born in 47 and Linda was born in 1950. Then I have another boy named Eppa, was born in 52.
Okay.
Now normally you name your first boy after you.
Yeah.
But I named Paul after my brother that got killed. And he looks like my brother in a lot of sense.
Huh.
Eppa is a dead ringer for me.
Yeah.
If I named him another way. And then in 55, I had a daughter named Nancy. She lives in Richmond, and she's married to a lawyer that works for the Attorney General. Excuse me. And 63, Cynthia was born, and that's her daughter.
Right.
And yeah, so I have a real nice family.
He was all right.
And they're all, now, Cindy lives over on Canal Drive, which is about 8 miles from here.
Yeah.
Off the street, and then Eppa and Paul live over off of Taylor Road, pretty close, about 4 miles from it. And Linda, of course, she lives in Kings Mill. She's married to a radiologist, and Nancy lives in Richmond.
Okay.
So, and that's all the rest of my family is gone, except a lot of cousins. I've lost a lot of cousins. Some might still be in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Around. Two cousins live over in Newport News, and I haven't seen them in so many years. My dad had 10 brothers,
Okay.
and they all worked for the railroad. And Daddy figured that he had to go back and take care of his mother and father. He should have stayed with the railroad. So he ended up having nothing, and they had every, if he just stayed there. But he did. It's just he figured he should go back and take care of him, and he did.
Oh, you got all the stuff that counts.
But he was a fine man.
Yeah.
And that was mountain. But that's like I figured he was the finest man that ever walked the face of the earth. And I think many people think they'll follow the same way.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky on that score too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old was he when he died?
Daddy was almost 74.
Oh my.
He was born the 29th of June,
Yeah.
and he died in April
Wow.
before he was 74. Mama died in 1955 of uranium poisoning.
Yeah.
That's, and of course, she always wanted you to believe. She had doctored up the Bible first in 1998, 1999, then 1900. So she made people think she's 1900. But I put on a tombstone 1898.
Yeah,
98.
Yeah.
So I'll hear about that if I ever see her again. But she was good. She was.
Put it on pause here.
Go.
Well, that sure helped the picture a little bit there. What is wrong with you? Didn't your mother ever tell you about dating sailors?
I'm telling you, back then, if you dated a sailor, you were just, that was it. No sailors.
Well, there must have been something about him that
there
convinced
was
you
something,
elsewise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was it about you?
He was a very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
She was still mixed master though, because she was dating a guy named Barker.
Yeah.
J.P. Barker. So it was iffy for a while.
Well, you got pretty close there alphabetically. If he'd been named Zimmerman, he might have been out of luck. So when he proposed to you, was it real fancy? Did he get down on one knee? And
No. He said, I've already asked that nanny, I call my mother.
Yeah.
He said, I've already told her about it. I said, well, you told her before you told me.
I asked her what she thought about it.
I guess you might as well clear that hurdle before you have to hit it.
You figured if she said yes, well,
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, that's all right.
Where'd you get where'd you get married?
In Murfreesboro,
Okay.
Yeah.
And, been married how many years now?
62.
62 years.
Yeah.
You don't look old enough to have been married 62 years. I'm sorry. Wow.
Still going strong.
Yeah. Must have been kind of hard with him
It's awful.
being
And I
gone.
had to raise 5
She
children.
raised
Oh,
me. Because I was,
Of course, my mother was living with me most of the time.
Yeah.
She helped me.
I was about sea about 24 years of the 30 I was in.
I didn't get to see him too much.
Yeah. Well, part of it's not getting to see him. The other part of it is the kind of work he's in is not the
He's a-
safest work in the world.
Right.
Yeah. So you knew him when he was on the Kidd?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you?
By letters, back and forth. That's
Okay.
how we day
On the
that-
Babbage is when it was Baptist, but on the Babbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know where he was?
Most of the time,
Okay.
I didn't know about the kid, what had happened until he came home.
Well, you're probably glad you didn't hear
No,
about it till
yeah.
you'd have worried yourself
Yeah,
sick on that.
right.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you stuck with him this long. What? Well, you stuck with him this long. What's the reason? What would you tell folks about Eppa that makes him special to you?
Well, he's just a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You started to say something a minute ago. Did I interrupt?
No.
No. Yeah. So.
She raised her cane with me, but still didn't do it, man. But, yeah.
We fuss. And argue. But in the end, it doesn't amount to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still think about it at times.
Where does that come from?
I just heard on TV today some woman is complaining because she tries to argue with her husband and he won't talk to her. She wanted to argue.
You know, I had a man, his wife just died this past month. They were married 70-some years and said they never had a crossword. Which is amazing, but he was an amazing man.
Yeah.
Like they
So-
argue maybe about 5 times a day.
As long as it don't do anything else but argue, that's all right.
Yeah, but you can't make up if you don't argue first now.
And always she'd be on the bed just like that, and then he'd come in and he said, "I'm sorry." Every day.
So what's
One time we thought, she said, I don't know why I'm always apologizing. I was like, "Oh,
She's always
that's
wrong.
because you're right." Which it was not.
well, being a sailor, you got to really appreciate a Navy wife.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The sacrifice they go through.
And do a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're alone, they have to do.
Everything.
But after you get out, you know, I tell you, I've been retired, 38 years, almost 38 years, 37. And I do the grocery shopping. She's been to grocery shopping about 12 times in that time.
Yeah.
And it used to be, you know,
Well,
that, they said men used to shop just to get something they wanted to nip at, you know. But it's the women now, you know. And she said, well, you buy the same thing all the time. So when she goes, she wants to get something she can pick at.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cheese nips.
Well, you've done a lot of interesting things in your life. Is there anything you haven't gotten around to doing that you wished you could have done? If you had all the money and health and time in the world, and,
I don't really know. No, I don't know of anything but offhand. I've never been wanting to do many things. And you know, when I got out of the Navy, I come over here, and this man Thomas lived down the street. So the Rotary Club had a banquet, wanted me to join the Rotary Club.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you do the Rotary Club does a lot of wonderful things, and they're real active in their community. I said, but I've been doing 30 years, been telling people what to do and what to not do and to do. And I said, now I just don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate and honor of asking me to join it. But I just don't want to get into that because I wouldn't do what I should do. So,
Well, always give our veterans a chance to say a few words for posterity. You got any words of wisdom or personal philosophy that's worked for you that you'd like to share with folks?
really, I say, like I tell most youngsters, you know, a lot of them, when I went in the Navy, you know, I said, if you want a career and don't want to work at something too hard, you stay with the military. But I said, if you have the initiative to get up and really want to go somewhere, then by all means get out of there and go to school and get all the education you can to get the job that you appreciate in the long run. Never be satisfied with just what you have.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble with a lot of people. The trouble with me, I was satisfied with my lot, in a sense, and not being more progressive. But I don't know what I would progress to or what I would want to do.
I say you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I say you're doing pretty
I think
well.
so.
You got anything else to add?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Well, Lieutenant Barkley, I want to thank you for this interview,
Yeah.
for your service to our country.
Appreciate
And Mrs.
you.
Barkley, I want to thank you for letting us invade your home
Well,
and for
you're
your service to our country as well
Thank
as a
you.
Navy wife.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.